competitions or something, and then like awkward.
Well, it was a big band, so we had like 4 buses. So we, separated.
They did not bus together.
No,
you didn't bus together.
No.
Did you ever accidentally bus with her to the because that'd be awkward.
Accidentally? Well, no, not accidentally. I mean, like we. Well, okay, so there was like that month of awkwardness, and we're like, this is stupid. We're just like, let's try and be normal again.
The month of awkwardness. I love that.
Yeah. So it's
a thing.
It is. No, so to answer the question, I wasn't crazy popular. It was just kind of like, this is super awkward for everybody. Mm-hmm. So it was the same group of friends for a long time.
Wow.
So.
Okay. And next question is for Tim from Garrett Byer. Will you marry me?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that good? Is that enough?
Yeah, I guess that'd be enough.
Garrett, I will marry you until May 29th, and then I'll get a divorce. I gotta marry somebody else then.
Okay, and then this question is for Chang from Garrett Byer too. Who is your favorite freshman?
Who's my favorite?
Oh, why didn't I get that question? Okay.
What question
Man.
is that?
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all friends here.
He's trying to get me to say Garrett.
It's Anna from Community, dude. Anna from Community. She's a great.
Anna from Community.
Freshman.
Okay.
I would have to say Josh Hebert on our floor.
Oh, yeah. Josh is Canadian. He's actually featured by Moody Admissions, aka me. So like, true. He's going to be appearing in Moody Admissions page at some point in time.
But
so yeah.
Yeah, the reason why is because he came to Kalahari with me and Hunter, and we just had a blast, and so
I love Josh Hebert.
I would say Garrett is my favorite freshman in Joel's room. That's definitely in there.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's fair enough. I would say that too.
Dakota's my favorite, almost always naked freshman. No. Listen, listen. When he gets on the floor, this is open. We're brothers and sisters in Christ. He drops trow every time, every single friggin' time.
Wow. We have a girl in the room.
Wow.
He sometimes comes into my room and.
I'm just saying I don't do that.
No, I mean that's something that like guys do.
That's something that I feel like only guys do.
No, actually, I've heard women.
I don't drop trousers, but I do go shirtless.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. So,
not only does journalism.
I'm gonna get in trouble with that.
So my next question is for me. So Garrett is asking, what is your real name? So should we reveal the real identity of Van Ferro?
No.
Carlos Vander Rienzares Ferro. That is Van Ferro's real name. It's on my Facebook page. So, okay. Next, Josh Hebert, our favorite freshman, asks, what is the best location or weather for a breakup? And what makes the most picturesque breakup?
Rain, for sure.
That's great.
Rain and black and white.
Okay, so Joel, so why rain and black and white?
Because the rain will hide her tears.
Yeah, that's true. You can't. She can blame the makeup running on the tear or on the rain.
Yeah.
And if you start crying too, you're both covered.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So women don't cry. So
just forget.
Women don't cry. Yeah, because it's just rain.
Yeah,
it's just rain.
Sandy's
so black and white is the weather, followed by rain.
Oh my god.
Comments, I'm gonna get in too much trouble.
I say you take her to a really, really, really nice restaurant. Like I'm talking Signature Room in the Hancock Tower. You buy her this really great meal, and then she's really full. And then you break up with her, and then it's okay because she's had a great meal and she doesn't feel bad about it.
I think that only works for guys.
That totally works.
I think that would work for a guy.
I think
okay.
I think Sandy begs.
Sandy, what do you think about that?
No. Number one, you'll be sending exceedingly mixed signals if you take her somewhere really nice, and then you especially at top of the Hancock Tower, you kind of let her drop.
Oh,
yeah, wow. That's 94 stories of letting her drop.
That's terrible.
And then you would have to ride the elevator down with her.
Oh, awkward
wow,
for 40 seconds. Yeah.
And then you have to walk back to wherever she's going.
Yeah, if you walk her home,
kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But especially if you drove her. If you picked her up,
Or what if you're both Moody students? You have to walk back to Moody. That's a 20-minute walk.
You guys are assuming that you have to walk back together. I mean, you just say, all right, I'm done. You can finish your dessert, and I'll pay, and then you're out, you know?
You do have a point, yeah.
You got it, you guys. Why would you ever walk home?
That's even sadder.
Hey, okay, and here's... No, listen. We're looking out for the girl in this situation because there are a lot of rich dudes that eat at... No, shh. Lots of rich dudes eat at the top of the Hancock Tower. They see her crying after the breakup. They come, and then she gets some rich dude, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Money is everything.
What guy really wants to intervene in a situation where a female is bawling?
Yeah, that's the most awkward.
The guys that want the pretty girl. And then, see, listen, here's my theme with breakups.
Yeah.
If you're going to break up with somebody, you should always be able to end the breakup with 2 words, you're and welcome. You're welcome. Because now some rich dude's going to come take you up. There you go. That's Tim Holt's breakup advice, guys. I'll never have to do it. So you do that for me and let me know how that goes.
And he ends that with a "You're welcome."
Okay,
you're welcome.
What about you?
That piece of advice was free.
Okay, Sandy, for you, what's the best?
Best weather/setting?
Yeah, that's like very picturesque breakup.
I mean, honestly, taking a walk is okay for a breakup. Even if you have to like walk back with the person, at least like you're not committing to like sitting down anywhere. I guess, and I mean. Rain is good because, I mean, sucky feelings always come well with rain. But
definitely.
I mean, if it's a nice day, it's not that bad either because at least you can walk back and it's a nice day and you get to like, God's creation has a way of pulling you out of a funk. So
yeah, that's true.
I think it might depend on the reason for breakup. So if it's like a mutual breakup, sunny, nice park walk is great.
Yeah.
If it's kind of like
if it's like you're a jerk and screw you, then then do the spiteful thing.
Yeah, pretty much. What about you, Josh? What's a perfect breakup? Is there such a perfect breakup?
Perfect breakup is in my air-conditioned room.
Whoa! I'm just kidding. Josh, you're gonna get kicked out for saying that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it does bring like I'm obviously kidding about that. But what if you're doing like a long distance relationship? This is going
the you're welcome rule still applies. You have to be able to say you're welcome at the end of the Skype call. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. You're welcome.
Never over text.
Never over text, yes. Thank you.
Never over email.
Yes.
Either over, Skype or phone call, but never over
There has to be
text.
A face-to-face. It just can be, like, super impersonal.
Or voice-to-voice if that can't happen,
Okay. And,
why don't... Wait.
Listen, here's the thing. Here's the text messages, all right? Why do you want to sit through having to cry in front of somebody? You get the text message. It's final. It's done. It's in a nicely edited form. There's no emotion. No emotion. Here's the deal. I send the text. Neither of us have to like go through that awkward hug that we used to make out, and now we gotta like do this Christian side hug. That sucks.
Hey.
There's no you're welcome at the end of that.
There is no you're welcome.
Yeah,
there's a you're welcome at the end of it.
That's only assuming if you actually hate the person you're dating.
Text. The only reason why I would ever break up with anyone over text is if I absolutely hate them.
Yeah.
Because, it shows a lack of emotion. It shows that what you had with the person was absolutely nothing to you.
Yeah.
And, or just, like...
You're welcome.
And honestly, I will say, I have been broken up with one person over text.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
It just kind of made me hate their guts. Actually, I think it was over email. It was a long time ago, so it was like... pre-text was a normal thing.
Okay, so Pearl Wendell. So in response to your walking a girl to force her to walk by home, so she says, "Okay, it's never okay for a guy to force a girl to walk home in the city by herself at night, especially after a breakup." And she says, "You're gonna feel like an idiot when she gets attacked by thugs."
I'm gonna say that's sexist. Why do all girls get attacked by thugs in the streets of Chicago? Why isn't it guys too?
That escalates.
You're welcome that.
Unless the rich guy takes her home in his limo. You're welcome. Now, can I tell you a funny story though? Speaking on the texting thing, I just want to say this real quick. One time I was dating this girl. I was like in 7th grade, right? Does that count as a breakup if you break up with someone in 7th grade?
I did not.
It's kind of like a nostalgic breakup, I think.
But let's just roll with this. Her name was Catherine. She was very nice. She was very sweet. She was like one of the pastor's daughters in the church that my dad worked with as a pastor, which made it even better. I remember at one point in the day, I realized I was like, I need to break up with this girl. You know, I don't really like her anymore. So I called her on her family phone.
On her family phone.
And so the voicemail picks up and says, "Hi, this is the Ingle residence. You know, thank you for calling us." And I proceeded to break up with her over that voicemail. And the story goes that they got home from family dinner and they all heard it. It was great. It was a family bonding experience. You're welcome, Catherine.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Well, there's some parents who will never, ever, ever let you get up with their daughter again.
Wow. Okay, so before we answer the rest of the questions here, so I guess let's get to the red flags that we can sense. So let's begin with like the beginning of a relationship. For you guys, what are like some red flags at the beginning of a relationship?
I want to hear this first.
Anybody who jokes about anything that I just said, I'm totally just messing around. Yeah, anything that I just said. No, I'm just messing.
Yeah, so red flags at the beginning of a relationship. What are like some of the things that when you sense it in a relationship, you're like, I don't know, but we might be breaking up.
So
really soon.
So like we're really saying soon. Like this is after the honeymoon phase, and
yeah, I guess kind of
eventually settling in.
Yeah, because you're like because like when you're in the honeymoon phase, like you don't see the faults of that person. Like that person is perfect. It's very borderline, but like I
don't know. I'd argue that the red flags end the honeymoon phase. You start seeing them, and it ends the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are some of those red flags?
I think
for you guys.
And one thing that I notice is like jealousy, and that eventually moves into other stuff. That I think that's a red flag in the early stages of a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who's next?
I would say a big one. Well, I can think of two off the top of my head, but I'll save it. One of the big ones is when you see that she's like almost trying too hard to be the girl that she thinks that you want. It's like, nah, just be normal. Be you. If you're trying to act and put on a face,
that's good advice.
You're not going to make it past round one.
Yeah, I can see how girls would do that because they want to love you best. Yeah, they think, but you're just like, as a guy, you want her to be herself, and that's totally true. I think. I think for me, a lack of willingness to compromise. And a want to fight. There are just some people out there that really want to fight, and that's just not good for the longevity of a relationship. Yeah. If somebody is like instigating, trying really hard to stir up problems, or even just finding even the littlest things to cause problems about, I think that's a decent red flag that you got to look out for. And I mean, girls on the way to guys as well. If a guy is always finding fault in you, always trying to bring up a conflict, that's just not fun at all.
Yeah. Tim's not looking for drama.
I ain't looking for drama.
What about Sandi?
Yeah, my major red flag is when, well, especially if it's like after the honeymoon phase, sort of, and you've kind of met the parents already.
Ooh, that's serious.
So
that's when you know.
Not exactly serious, because I mean, you could be dating someone and their family is like part of your church. If you are talking with them and all they can say about their parents is negative and disrespectful, or just kind of questionable, if that's all they can say about their parents, and they don't. Pretty much, if they don't love their mama, they ain't gonna love you.
Exactly, because the way that they treat their parents is the way that they're going to be treating you. So if you're like a guy, and this girl treats her, her dad shabbily, then that's the kind of authority figure relationship that she has, and it's vice versa.
I heard you can watch and see how they treat waiters and waitresses.
Oh yeah,
if they're really rude to the waiter and waitress, they're probably
one of these days.
In reality, very rude.
How's that going for you, Joe? How's your lady?
She's awesome. She always wants to tip more than me.
She tips more than
she always wants. Yeah, she does.
I got the sweetest woman in the world. I think this is one that it kind of seems obvious, but as you get out of the honeymoon phase, I have a theory that any guy or girl can remain uncrazy for 2 months, and then after that 2-month period, you start to see their real selves. If they stop showing love to you in the same way that they showed love to you in the beginning, that's huge, because the longevity of that feeling should exist. I think we're really scared to say that the same feelings that you have in the beginning should be the same feelings that you have later on. They may develop and grow, and love may grow, but man, with Megan, it's still every time I see her, my heart flips. You know what I mean? And that should be how it is. No, it is for real though, because and that plays out. I've watched friends that have had relationships that, the girl or the guy after about 2 or 3 months, they start to turn off a little bit more, and they start to, instead of treating you like you're special, they don't anymore. And that's one thing that, I've really appreciated about my relationship. Joel, I'm sure you have too, is that the ones that last, like Megan and
Lexi,
right?
Yeah.
Like Megan and Lexi will continue to love you, continue to cherish you. I mean, every time I go over to Megan's apartment, she greets me at the stairs and is always asking how my day goes. And it's stuff like that makes a relationship last.
Yeah.
Or else the breakup's going to come, because if one person doesn't feel affection, eventually that honeymoon fades away and it's done. Because nobody wants to be in a relationship where real, true, full love isn't shown. I don't think.
And I have a question for Sandi.
Okay.
So the question is, hold on, we got like a lot of questions. Wow. So this is from Dakota Messenger. So, do girls prefer beards or no beard? And can this be a relationship ender?
I wouldn't say it's a relationship ender, and I mean every girl has her preference. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of too much hair. It does make making out really kind of difficult. Also, you're probably going to end up reminding me of my dad.
Was your dad like heavily bearded?
When I was a lot younger, yeah, my dad had a full beard, and so like bearded kisses to me feel a lot more fatherly than probably they should.
Ooh, okay.
I've heard that.
That's a tip, yeah.
And for me, beards are a no-go. Just
you have a beard.
No. I'm saying for me.
Oh, for women?
For the women, yeah. I don't like when they have beards.
Oh, yeah. I don't like
bearded
it either.
Woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pearl, in response to breaking up over text, so Pearl Wendell writes, "No girl wants to be broken up with via text. You're not a man if you do that."
Yeah, because you have to be able to show some emotion, because otherwise, as I said, it's like, man, what we had meant absolutely nothing. It meant, 5 digits on a text message, we're done. No, seriously. If you're going to break up with a girl, you really have to let her know that it is, first of all, that it isn't 100% her fault unless it, is.
Unless she's crazy or something.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy?
What's crazy?
I
don't. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God.
What would be a major turnoff for you guys? That's my question.
Actually, yeah, that is also a Dakota's question. What is the one thing that you would absolutely break up with somebody for?
Can I just say, as this is Tim talking, Pearl, I think you and I should be best friends.
Oh yeah, Pearl is an amazing girl. Yeah, Pearl is an amazing girl. So okay, so what is that one thing that you will break up with somebody, like absolutely break up with somebody for?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you want to start us out, Josh? Absolutely break up with this person. So it could be like according to Dakota, it could be like a quality, character trait, or what's like one thing that you're going to break up with somebody
I think this is the easiest answer, but I think anybody that doesn't have a genuine love for God.
Exactly, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think for me, if that person isn't willing to compromise, I have the same thing with you, because I'm pretty driven and ambitious, so like I know what I want to do in my life, and if that person isn't going to be willing to at least meet me halfway there, like I don't think it's going to work, because like I believe that like for two people to be married, like you have to be going to the same place, yeah, or you have to make a compromise on either side in order for you to to achieve that. So I think for me it's the same thing. Like that's why for me, like a non-Christian, like I'm not hoping like, oh, I can convert her to Christ. No, it's like I'm not that powerful enough.
Missionary dating.
Yeah, I am not God to be able to do that. So even if you look like Jennifer Lawrence but you're not a Christian, I can't. It's like it just won't work. So
I think we just have to be careful when we talk about breaking up. There does need to be a lot of grace in the relationship. If a lot of people talk about what they need to break up about, and I've read a lot of blogs and stuff, and I'm sure everybody listening has too. If Megan would have followed those to a T, I wouldn't have a fiance right now, because as a new relationship person, you kind of are a moron sometimes, and I didn't compromise sometimes. I messed up, but yeah, I mean, I think that you're right. There are a few things that are definite. I think if they disrespect my family ever, I know that's a weird one, but if they were to ever say anything bad about my family, that's done immediately. That's just, because my family and I are really close. But anyone willing to talk crap about your friends, your family, especially early on without even knowing them, that's a huge one for me. And I guess we could put it out there. Cheating is 100% and done. Yeah. I don't know if we needed to say that, but that's just me.
Yeah. What about you, Sandy? What's the one thing that you're going to be breaking up with?
I mean, kind of the same thing as Tim here. It's just if the person I care about is bad-mouthing my friends and bad-mouthing my family and or like trying to get around my family's rules, that's like 100% no. I'm like, no. Because if you can't handle them, how in the world are you going to handle them being, your,
they are the
in-laws?
They are the parents that raised you. So
and like for me, like as a friend, like, and this is like breakup of a friend, pretty much. Like if the girlfriend is somebody who's like just trying to make time for them, and she's like isolating him from all of his other friends, and is not making any any moves to make his friends her friends, that's a red flag for me. It's like, this girl is like needy, or she's just probably like snobby, or she just wants to create a whole new social circle without these guys. And like, girl, look, before you came there was us.
Exactly.
It's like it's
always boys before girls.
There were my homies.
So
yeah.
And
because
same
like,
thing for me. It's like if I end up dating someone and they don't like that, I hang out with a lot of guys, and they don't like that. It's like, what I had with these guys has been going on a long time before we ended up doing this. So.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we're in a romantic relationship that you own me and you control my social life, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves with with friends. Like, really, you're going to like just drop us just because your girlfriend doesn't like us? Like, seriously? Like, I actually appreciate like one of my really good friends. He just got a girlfriend like 3 months ago, and her girlfriend was like, she was like afraid that we weren't going to like her. So what she decided to do over the summer was she invited us, pretty much his friends, over to her friend's house. So we met her friends, we met her family, and she was like asking her boyfriend like, do they like me? It's like, yeah, we liked you. We went tubing with you. It's like, you have a boat. You have like really cool friends. Yeah, so she made an effort, for us to like her. So I'm like, yeah, I like this girl. It's like, she still wants us to be in this guy's life. She's not like other girls who's like, oh no, it's just us. I don't like him. So like, I don't want to be friends with him, and you shouldn't be hanging out with him. Like,
I think you say this. This is goes along with what you say is the pressure cooker relationship.
Yeah.
The girl or the guy, because guys do this too. I don't want to stereotype girls into that. Pushing for the next step every single time.
Yeah.
You just, you know what? There's a beauty in just going, we're cool where we're at, and when the Lord moves us on, He'll move us on. I mean. There really there's a lot of danger when it comes to somebody who's always like, so, when are we getting engaged? What are we looking as far as marriage right in the beginning? It's you have to make sure that you take it at your own pace.
Yeah, I want to have 3 children. Yeah. Okay, what about you, Josh? What's the one thing that you're going to break up somebody with for?
I think this is something that goes a little bit with everything that you guys said, but it's kind of like there's no humility. They don't listen at all. I think it's one thing to make a mistake and then be like, oh, I really didn't mean that. Like, that probably came out wrong. And there are more chances to make it up to them. But if they are like, I don't think I did anything wrong.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, all right, I gotta drop it.
Yeah, and it kind of hurts when you tell somebody that like, oh, you know what, you've wronged me in this way, and that person's like, no, it's just you. That's like, really, like, Oh my gosh.
I think I know my own heart, like that type of deal.
Yeah, kind of thing.
I have one question. Does anyone remember High School Musical?
Oh, of course.
I haven't seen High School Musical, although we've qualified High School Musical as manly, though, like in a previous episode.
Okay. Well, for those of us who have seen it, do you remember Sharpay Evans?
Yes.
And the way that she was always going after Troy or whatever his...
Zac Efron?
Zac Efron, yeah.
His name was Troy.
Yeah.
That was Troy,
his character.
Okay, good. And she was like...
Trust me, I know.
She was always pushing. She was never letting him talk whenever she was, like, after him.
Yeah.
That's the girls you just want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Those are the people that I dub as danger zones or DZs.
Danger zone.
Like, I mean, for me, like, I can get along pretty well with anyone. So, like, I don't really have a problem with, like, not liking somebody or, you know, but if you give me a reason not to like you, then I'm going to think about it. Like, oh, you don't want to talk to me? You don't want to hang out with me? You want your boyfriend to just be with you or your girlfriend just to be with you and not with us? His friends before you even came in? It's like, that's, you know, I get offended with that, honestly. So, you know.
One of the other ones, too, is those... the ones that, and this could even be before you start dating, or it might not. You might not even realize it till afterwards. But the ones that they'll ask you questions just so they can answer the question they just asked you.
Yeah.
It's like playing a tennis match with somebody who just you hit the ball back to them and they just hold on to it until you get bored and go home. There's got to be some interest in each other's lives, and there's even, and this is even just on like meeting somebody new for the first time. Don't just ask them questions so that they start talking about you more. Don't talk about yourself. It's got to be a little even.
Yeah.
So
listen.
Yeah. So at the beginning of next semester, when all those transfers come, the rule still applies. Listen with them. Yeah. You know.
According to Andrew Schmutzer today in Psalms, listening is the sign of submitting to authority. So yeah, listen more. Yeah. So, Sandy.
I would say listening and also observing. Not even if the person's not talking, they're still saying a lot. So, actually, that's something I in my orientation group. I was Sigma Phi this year, so I had an orientation group, and that was one of the things I really pushed. It's like, if you want to make friends, make sure you're observing people. All these people are here for a reason. You know, God sent them to this school. Make sure that you're getting to know what that reason is and how you can encourage them in that. And it should be the same way in any relationship, not just friendship.
Yeah. So, okay, so Pearl Windle, in response to Tim's offer to be best friends. Tim, I don't think you could handle being best friends with me.
Pearl. You don't even know me.
Down.
You don't even know me. So
I'm just kidding, Pearl.
So those are like some of the things. So Sandy has to leave us now, but
skedaddle. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming here. So if you would like to come in here just for a few minutes, just hang out with us, answer questions about breaking up and moving on, just come here on Sweeting 4. Now, if you're not on MBI Chicago, like if you're not in Chicago anywhere, you can just go to our Facebook page at theletterm.mcr or go to our Twitter page at theletterm on MCR. So, wow, we have like a lot of questions here. So, Dakota Messenger, in response to the definition of a ladies' man, so he said, a ladies' man is a man who is good with the ladies, positive, not negative. So that's his definition of what a ladies' man is. Yes, pretty much.
I mean, I'm nice to them. Does that count? Like I don't think I'm a jerk.
I'm very nice sweet.
Does that make you a ladies' man all of a sudden? Then?
Oh my gosh!
Sometimes, just depends.
And Pearl actually agrees with us. Yes, it's very important to respect your girlfriend or boyfriend's friends. If they don't like you, then it's not likely you're going to be sticking around. I don't know. See, that's like one of my biggest fears about friendships. I know that, like, for example, if I have a guy friend. And like say I didn't like the girl, and if it comes to a choice between the girl and me, I'm pretty sure he's going to choose her. So you know, I mean that's just the way that guys are. If they see a girl and they want the girl, it's like, screw you, friends. It's like whatever. I have a girl.
They
now.
get the stupids.
They get the stupid, dude. That's a thing.
Yeah,
that's very much a thing. I hope me and Pearl one day like end up in like some group project together. We don't even know one another, and we're introduced. And she's like, "I'm Pearl," and I go, "I'm Tim Holt," and we would just immediately fail the class.
So, what is it? The freedictionary.com says it actually has a definition for ladies man.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a couple. First one is a man who is fond of, attentive to, and successful with women.
Ooh. So could that
still? Yeah, exactly. Could that still have negative connotations?
I don't. Successful with women.
It
I mean, it should only supposed to be one woman, though. Right?
It depends on what you determine success.
So I don't think I want to be a ladies' man because it's using plural form of women.
Yeah, I mean, you only need one. Okay, this is something I usually tell like girls, especially when they get like really, really frustrated that no guy is like approaching them, and they feel like the prettier, more popular girls get them. I tell them you only need one guy. It's like you don't need all of these guys like lining up to you. You only need one guy. So don't get frustrated when these guys aren't running after you or anything, because you know what? It's like there's always going to be one guy who's going to see your value as a woman, pretty much. Josh Ebert is here joining us. So, yes, we have to let him in. So, Justin Holmes. We're actually still trying to get him to host a radio radio show here at MCR. He just gave us a news. I don't know if this is going to be a good news or a bad news. So speaking of breakups, Jennifer Lawrence broke up with Chris Martin from Coldplay today.
Oh wow! Isn't he like really old compared?
I think he's like about 10 years. Yeah.
Well, for Joshua J. Chang, that's great. That's great news.
Jennifer Lawrence just broke up with Chris Martin.
Wait, how old is Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence is like 23.
Whoa.
Jennifer Lawrence is one of the youngest winners of the Academy Award for Best Actress. It's crazy. Go. And so Josh Ebert is here joining us.
Hey guys.
What up, Josh?
So right now we're answering questions basically, and wow, Pearl is on a roll today. So
Pearl.
Okay, so I just like to repeat her comment. So yes, it's very important to respect your girlfriend or boyfriend's friends. If they don't like you, then it's not likely you're going to be sticking around, and vice versa. If you already are friends with their friends, you should be especially careful how you treat your boyfriend and girlfriend, because if the breakup is bad, then you risk losing more than one relationship. So that's actually that's a good point, though. True. Okay. So Pearl is answering your question. So she's like, actually, I do know you. I was on your sister floor last year.
Perla?
Pearl Windle.
Pearl Windle.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, Pearl. I'm real bad with names.
Oh, that's super awkward.
That's so awkward. Why would you bring that up on the air? That's so sad.
Oh,
Pearl, I have a fiance. I forget everything else.
The plot thickens.
The plot does thicken.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Pearl. That makes me feel so bad. Thanks for making me feel bad on live radio.
I'm a freshman and I know who she is.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, Pearl is usually here. Pearl is one of the biggest fans of the letter M. So, okay, next question. Okay, breakup season.
Breakup season.
Okay, so this is like the point when you're like, okay, we need to break up. Like,
when do most people break up?
So I guess the questions are, how are you going to pursue the breakup? I don't know if that's like a right phrasing of the question, but like when you finally figure out, oh my gosh, I have to break up with this person, how do you pursue that?
You gotta shoot it straight.
Shoot it straight, man.
Shoot it straight. Okay, what do you mean by shoot it straight?
That's how Chang lives his life.
Shoot it straight. I'm a no nonsense kind of guy.
Amen. He is actually a no nonsense kind of guy. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And so if I come to this realization, then I'll be like, all right, it'll literally tear you apart until you actually, talk about it with her. And it'll be like, you might be like super, super nervous. You might be like, oh man, this is actually going to happen. We're going to end this relationship. Yeah. But, the best thing that can happen for both of you don't realize is actually breaking up when it comes down to it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, BT Dubs, Pearl, I just looked up your Facebook, and I'm sorry, I totally remember you. My bad. Just forgot the name. Keep going. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think part of going into the seasons of initiating a breakup, I think you're probably going to think you're very secretive and hiding everything really well. But the moment you realize, like, man, I think I'm going to break up with her, it's almost like you're putting the relationship on hold. You're not letting anything advance, and she's seeing all of the signs. She's going to know it's coming before you think she really does. It's going to suck. Yeah. I mean, she's going to see it coming, and she's just waiting for it now. And the whole time you're really, for us, for the guys, it's us building up our confidence. We know it's going to happen, and we're sorry that you know it's going to happen. Yeah. But we're just building up our confidence. It takes a while sometimes.
Yeah, probably the worst thing that you can do is to drag it on and keep waiting. And
funny
keep
you
going.
mentioned that, Chang. It's actually what I came up here to say. I was going to say like the very how to do it wrong way to break up with someone. So the most serious relationship I was ever in, it just dragged on for far too long. You can get in those relationships where you both know it's over. It might start with one person, like Joel said, and then the other person can sense it. But when they don't say anything either, it just becomes this mutual sense of, like, what are we even doing kind of thing. And, well, I'm a passive, kind of laid-back sort of guy. So when, I don't know, when it comes down to it, I'd say you really have to make your decision quickly and just get it over with. You can't... I mean, people always talk about recovering from a breakup, but I don't know what the appropriate time to, like, re-get back together is after that.
Yeah.
But I think it's safer, like, if you're on the fence sometimes, just to, like, well, first off, talk it through, but if you're both feeling the same sense, it definitely just end it quickly.
Right.
Or else you end up in the same situation I was.
I think you gotta be careful, especially as a guy. You know, guys are very much quick. Like, it is done in 2 minutes and it's over. One of the things about, you know, being in a relationship that you learn to do is to try to value both sides of it. And Megan and I were talking about our past breakups, and she was like, in past breakups with her, she's felt hurt that, you know, it only lasted for 5 minutes and the guy drove away.
Wow.
And which is weird because for us guys, it's almost like, get it over with, get it done, it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what we got to just, as guys, prepare yourself for is allow yourself to sit there and to talk it through with her. Don't say it straight, get it done. I agree with what they say, but be willing to sit there and say, okay, this is why. And also, if it's up to me, this is maybe just the way that I see it. If you're on the fence about breaking up with somebody, if there's a characteristic, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is to not say anything about that characteristic, not bring it up, and just break up because of it, as opposed to going, hey, so I see this. Is there something going on? Because you really could be losing a potentially good relationship because you see one bad thing. And you want to talk it through first and say, hey, I see you being a little bit selfish in this area of your life. Is everything okay? Are you doing all right? As opposed to just, you know, maybe dumping the person, unless it's terrible, of course. But I would say before you get to the point of breaking up, just talk it through a little bit more than guys are used to. Because as a guy, and as a guy who's been friends with the guys all my life, guys are very quick to run. As soon as they see anything even remotely emotionally scary, it's run away. As opposed to maybe see what you can do to fix it first. That's just me, though.
I think that's fair, because it's all of a sudden they break up with you, and it's like, I didn't even know you thought that was an issue. I thought
But what if it's an over and over thing?
Oh, well, then break. I mean, like, if it's an over and over and it's an absolute, you have to say it straight. Don't drag it out, because you want to respect her still, and making her be a part of a relationship as opposed to getting over it for, you know, a month or whatever. That's just disrespectful of her time.
And Pearl agrees. She says, don't drag it out. For the girl, it's like weeks or months of breaking up instead of quick and over, so then she can pick up the pieces and heal. So she agrees.
And for guys, too. And for guys,
too.
Girls, please don't drag it out.
I was going to say, flip side of that.
I don't have very healthy breakups. I moved to another continent. But, I mean, there's only like 7 continents to move to. So, you know, I'm very picky with my relationships.
You're okay.
Yeah, I don't want to have to move to Mars eventually. So.
Antarctica's still okay.
So, and Pearl actually is right. Like, you know, this is somebody that you cared about. So respect her feelings.
Definitely.
Me and Pearl are starting to agree on some things. I dig that.
So...
you have to gain her trust again.
I'm trying.
So since we are now in the middle of a breakup, so I think it's time for us to it's fresh for us to have a music break. So since we are like in the heat of breaking up session, I think it's just appropriate to play "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele.
In the deep.
So we have another guest on the door. So we're going to go on a music break. We're going to let him in. So. If you're breaking up with somebody right now, just
wait. We will tell you what to say afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good
deal.
So
here's Adele with "Rolling in the Deep," only here on the letter
M.
And that's Rolling in the Deep with Adele, only here on the letter M. So now we've got Dakota Messenger. So Dakota has got off of Facebook, and he's now on the studio here at Tweeting 4. So
who's going to ask us questions?
Well, that's why Dakota's here.
Better ask us some pretty good questions.
Yeah. So I think we've got to the point in our discussion. So I put on the bedroom music now. So Joseph. Wait, no, it doesn't mean that. Oh my gosh, never mind. Okay, so Joseph Wagner Davis is asking, and I guess it's a good segue to what we're going to be talking about anyway. What are your worst breakup stories?
Oh. Perfect timing, then.
Oh, yeah, perfect timing.
Because I just got here.
Yeah, that's actually something that Dakota would want to talk about tonight. Okay. So, Dakota, start us out. What was your worst breakup story?
So, I guess in perspective, it's not that bad compared to some other people's breakup stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, junior year of high school. And this is similar to Joel's story. This is similar to Joel's story because I was a band geek. She was a band geek. Oh. We were both band geeks. All our friends were band geeks. Rode the same buses to competitions. It was bad. But anyway, so
it was bad.
She moved to Arizona from Michigan.
Wow.
And the first semester she was homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
And she started dating one of my good friends.
Mm.
And the second semester she came to our school.
Mm.
And so they dated for a while and they broke up.
Oh.
And then so
You stole.
You stole.
You swoop. No.
The door is located on the west side.
Listen. So like after they broke up, like a month and a half later, I was really good friends with her, and so I asked my friend. I was like, "Hey, I kind of like this girl. Do you mind if I ask her on a date?" See, I did the bro code thing, and then I asked her to go on a date with me,
mm-hmm.
and so it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like ask her, "Oh, let's date," and then become boyfriend girlfriend. It was sort of just like a we're dating thing now.
Yeah,
and so. We went out for about a month, and at this time I had never kissed anyone. So when our band took a trip to Disneyland,
my first is getting spicy and magical.
My first kiss ever. I kissed her under the fireworks at Disneyland.
Oh, that is so
Wait, was
sweet.
that your first kiss?
That's disgusting.
First kiss ever.
That's the best first kiss ever.
I feel like your dad.
And so after we got back from the band trip, I then took her to prom. I went to prom my junior year with her.
Yeah.
And then after that, she iced me out for like 2 whole days. Like she just wouldn't talk to me.
Were you a super bad kisser, or?
Did you have a beard?
No, I mean this wasn't like instant. Like a week after prom.
Oh my gosh.
She just like we went to. I remember this actually. We were on the bus back from a band thing, and we were sitting next to each other, and she was just like staring off in the distance. And I was like,
that's a red flag.
I would always tell her, "Hey, I like you." And
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, I like you." And I was like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" She's like, I'm fine. But she didn't like talk to me, and she wouldn't like hold my hand.
Fine is never the real answer.
Yeah, fine
Just
is
saying.
never the real answer. Yeah.
And then the next day, the same thing went on. But the end of the day, she told me, she's like, "I like you better as a friend." The end of the next day.
Oh!
And then
I like you better as not my friend. So.
it gets better. The day after that, she started dating one of my really good friends who she was already dating before that.
Oh, that is
studio girl.
Wait, is this the friend that you like asked if you could date her?
Yeah.
Oh, so what goes around comes around
you?
kind of thing?
He like unbro-coded you.
Oh, that is.
And like when I say we were in the same group, we ate at the same table of 8 people every single day.
Oh my gosh. That's
So what happened after that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so weird. But okay. Fast forward like 2 or 3 months later.
Yeah.
Like a month and a half after that, we'd started to be friends again because I was, we went through the thing like, this is weird, let's just be friends. And so we started being friends again.
Yeah.
But I get a random, I get called in by, like, the associate, like, principal of, like, disciplinary measures at the school one day.
What?
And he's just like, and, like, let me give you some background on this. The night before that, we were texting, and she was like, hey, I know that you're just, you're just joking around, but I'm going through some stuff right now. Could your humor can be a little mean sometimes. And I was like, I'm really, really sorry. I'll try to be a better friend.
Yeah.
The next day, I get called in by this guy, and thankfully this guy used to be the drama director, the director of the drama department.
Of course,
and
it has to be the drama director.
And so...
How else do you deal with this?
No, this was a good thing, because he knew the band kids, and we knew him, and he said, he's like, hey man, I know that sometimes it can be hard when you're in the same group of friends as someone you used to date, but I just want to remind you to be respectful at all times.
Yeah.
And we got a call from her mom, and she said that you'd been harassing her. And I was like, what?
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
what? And I talked to her, and her mom had called the school and told the school that I had been harassing her.
What?
And I talked to her and I was like, we're 18. Like, this was senior year, actually. This was like the next, like I dated her junior year. We got back to being friends. So this was senior year. And I was like, we are 18. We're getting ready to go into college. And your mom's calling the school on me. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't control my mom. And so, this story gets better. This story gets better. And so she was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for my mom to do that. That's not how I feel at all. It's just what my mom said. And so, since I'm really close to my mom, I told my mom about all this, and she said, you need to stop talking to her because she's making you look bad as a man, and this is if this continues to follow you, this isn't gonna be good in your future. And so I completely stopped talking to her. Like, I cut her off, and I blocked her on social media, and I stopped speaking to her completely. Yeah. And this was like 2 or 3 months left of senior year, so it wasn't like, oh, this is so long, but so we stopped talking. Year goes by. I just recently found out she's coming here next semester.
Oh my gosh! Oh gosh!
Plot twist. Plot twist.
Plot twist.
I don't know if I should give her name out.
You should give her
no, don't.
No,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't tell me your name. Tell me your name.
I'll tell you her name off of air. But she's coming here next semester, so out of everybody from like Arizona, out of everybody I knew, she is coming here next semester.
You should grow a beard.
I don't think she ever got over you, though.
She's probably listening to you right now, thinking like, hang on, my future bae Dakota is on the radio right now. And she wants to hear from you, man, because you blocked her out. So I'm excited for this turn of events. This gives me something to be excited about in the winter, and I very much thank you for that.
That's not exciting, man.
That's so
this is so exciting.
Not exciting.
This makes me so happy.
There's just so much dread.
Oh, my God.
When that happens.
It is literally the worst. It's so not exciting at all.
Well, we're going to be praying for you about that. How are you going to be able to handle that kind of drama? That's hard. Yeah. Especially when you take like your local high school drama to Moody drama, it's amplified like 10 times.
1,700 miles. I'm 1,700 miles away from my high school, and it's coming back.
You bring it to Moody, and it's amplified sevenfold.
Yeah, sevenfold. Yeah, biblically.
Biblical terms, yeah.
So okay,
or
so
even 7 by 7.
Yeah. So who's going to be who's next to share their worst breakup story? Tim.
All right. So I'm a junior in high school. I don't know why it always happens this way.
Always junior in high school.
It seems like junior year in high school is the breakup year. So I start dating this girl, and what should I call her? I should call her Allison because she could be listening. Her name's Allison in this situation.
I remember this.
Not to be confused with Allison Johnson, who is awesome.
No, not Allison Johnson yet.
But we did break up as friends because she moved to Colorado. So this girl, I see her in church, and I remember, it's church, and I'm the pastor's kid, so, it's the place where you're popular if you're the pastor's kid. It's the only place as a pastor's kid where you're ever popular. So I remember I loved it. I knew all the people there.
Yeah. But only the old people, right?
Yeah, well, the old people love me, too, which is nice, because they give you stuff. Not that I would ever exploit that.
Yeah, the old people love pastor kids.
They love the pastor's kids. And so me and Allison, I see her across the room, and I'm like, and I go to engage her with conversation and flirtation. And we, she saw that I drove a Mustang in high school, and she was immediately hooked. That's all you need as a high schooler is a Mustang. So tell your high school brothers and sisters. Anyway, so she sees the Mustang. We start dating for about 3 months, and I remember I go to Mexico, and I'd sort of been having the doubts about the relationship that every high schooler probably should have at some point. And then I was like, maybe this won't work out. But then I went to Mexico, and the absence makes the heart grow fonder thing.
Yeah.
So I went to Mexico to build churches and all that jazz, because that's what we do in Mexico as churchgoers. And so we went to go build churches, and I remember the whole time I told everybody. I mean, I told her friends, I told my friends. Like, I'm so ready to be back with Allison. Like, I'm so excited. And I remember she's one of those. Now I'm from Southern California, so she talks kind of like she goes, oh my God, she talks like this all the time, and like she's super excited about everything. Like all of her text messages have like 85 consonants at the end of them. You know what I'm talking about? Like when someone says way, but they spell it WAYYYYYYY kind of thing. That was her, and super smiley face kind of thing. And so I remember I got back. I remember texting her because I got back a day early, and I was like, "Hey, I got back a day early," and all she responds with is "cool," period. Ooh. And I was like, "Okay, it's a little weird, you know." And I'd never
anything with a single period is like
it's bad news. That's like she's pissed at you.
Anything with a single word is bad news.
Single word
is bad.
Yeah.
Single word is bad
from the girl.
From the girl.
Period.
Oh, I agree. So that's when you just need to start apologizing, even though you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I remember I got back home, and she texted me like at 12 o'clock that night, and I had to go over to her house, and she dumped me right there, and I didn't even know why. Turns out later on I found out she'd been dating. Now my dad was the youth pastor of this mega church in my area, about 400 kids. Now the second largest youth ministry, this guy's name was Jake, and his son, also named Jake, like Junior or something like that, was like the second biggest youth pastor's kid. So she had been seeing him and like kind of cheating around during spring break with this kid. And so I remember I found out, and I hated this kid's guts. Like, just absolutely hated this kid's guts. And I mean, I know Dakota's probably with me on this. I was so mad. Like, I was just furious. And one day Justice came. It was wonderful. Now, she worked at Chick-fil-A, and the only bad thing I've ever thought about Chick-fil-A. And I remember she was working, and this guy comes up to me. And he comes up, and like I like to talk to the workers at like places like that, because I've been a fast food worker. It's tough, so I always try to like engage them in conversation just to make their day a little bit better. So I pull out like 2 spoons out of the little like spoon area thing, and this guy's standing there, and I go, "Oh crap, dude! I pulled out 2. Like, I guess I'll have to throw this one away. This is going to cost you money or something like that." I was just trying to talk to him. This guy looks at me out of the corner of his eye and runs away into the back. Like, I mean, literally dead sprints into the back. And I had no idea. I was like, what? I had no idea what happened. I go back to my table. I sit down. I'm like, this guy over here that like walked through the door just like ran away from me. I've never had someone like run away from me for no reason. And I remember they said, "Dude, that's Jake Myers. That's the guy. That's who Allison broke up with you for." And I remember I had this moment where I wanted to punch the dude in the face, but I just remember she was cleaning tables across the restaurant, and she looked at me and looked at him, and like this look of panic set in on her face. Like because I'd never told her that I found out. And I remember I just stood up and I pointed at him, and I just mouthed the word "you," like you're the one. His face went completely white, and I just sat right back down and looked at him, and he just backed into the kitchen and didn't come out until I left. Like, I don't know where he went. That was the story of my worst breakup.
Tim,
it was so sad.
I am positive we can make a soap opera over your high school career.
Me and Dakota should like co-star in this soap opera, and we would have some great stories.
What would you name it?
The Life and Times of Tim and Dakota.
That's a good title.
Oh my god!
I mean, there's better titles.
Okay, Josh, worst breakup ever.
So,
yeah. Oh wait, I forgot. There's 2 Josh. I'm sorry, Josh Chang. Yeah.
Worst breakup ever.
Worst breakup ever.
This isn't bad because I honestly I have handled my breakups well.
Yeah.
I think the worst part about my most recent breakup was because I knew that I broke this girl's heart.
Yeah.
And I was just like destroyed over the fact that, oh man, you know, I broke up with her, and I just like literally tore her heart to pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only time that I've cried since childhood. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Because I'm like, oh dude, I just hurt this girl.
Josh doesn't usually cry. It's like
my eyes don't sweat often.
All right, Joel, worst breakup ever.
It's actually my fault. I'm the reason for the worst breakup.
Okay.
I was it was, you know, never would have guessed. No, I learned my relationship lessons very early in high school. I was the immature kid who didn't know much. I just wasn't good. I learned through my mistakes. Again, my relationships, they either lasted 2 months or 4 years. And it's so you know, they weren't crazy serious. So there was this girl, and she was normal. She was cool at first.
She was normal
when I first started like talking with her.
Yeah.
And obviously I was single at the time, and I heard she was interested in me, and I was like, oh, this is great, cool. And so I start pursuing that. I start talking with her and stuff, and she... okay, so I'm single, and I'm a sophomore, and so I'm talking with all of these. I'm talking with like any girl that shows any interest in me at all. Immature sophomore, and so
I hate people like that. I'm sorry. It's like
I'm sorry. Yeah,
or even single moody seniors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not singing. I'm not.
So anyway,
okay.
So sophomore in high school. Talking with girls that seem interested in me. So the one girl finally expressed interest in me. The other one kind of did, but it was really mixed messages and stuff. So I start dating the girl that actually said she was interested, and so this goes on, and like. About a month in, all of a sudden she's totally different. I'm starting to notice she's not the normal cool, and this is where the red flag came up, what I talked about earlier.
Red flag.
All of a sudden she was a different person. She was not the same that I thought was cool. So sophomore in high school, Joel was really into skateboarding and Xbox. Two things.
Praise God.
Yeah, I mean
that's what you have to. I'm still into those two.
But anyway, and Slurpees. I was a big Slurpee dude.
I mean, oh my God, 7-Eleven.
That was like as a Christian saying you're into Jesus. That's just like normal, dude. That's very.
So skateboards, Xbox, and 40-ounce Slurpees. That's what it was. And so this girl finds out all of that stuff, and she goes and buys a skateboard, the exact same brand that I was into. She goes and buys an Xbox 360 with all of the exact same games that I owned.
You broke up with this girl?
Josh is like, you found heaven, dude.
Let him continue.
Okay, go ahead.
And then all of a sudden she's like crazy about Slurpees, and like it's just she's completely different than the girl that I thought was really cool at the beginning. And so I'm like, okay, this is really weird. And while all of that's still happening, this other girl originally that was interested in me was still talking with me, and so it's like, oh, this is really difficult. So we're like a month in, and this is all starting to happen, and I'm at that point, I'm like, I don't think this is going any farther.
No, dude. Give Josh her number. He needs this girl.
No, she's not this way anymore. It all stopped after we broke up.
Oh my god.
She didn't skate anymore. She didn't play Xbox. She didn't drink any Slurpees. It was just she only did that because she was dating.
She didn't drink any Slurpees?
So it was sweet. It was No, it's not. Trust me. It was totally fake. It was totally fake.
Wow.
It was not who she was.
She tried to love you in her way.
She tried to become me. I don't want to date another Joel Strode.
I don't know why you wouldn't. You're pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you. No, I need somebody that compliments me really well.
Yeah.
And I found that.
Joel, you're pretty cute. Yeah. Is that well? Sorry, that was so bad.
I think you're cute too.
Keep going.
Sorry, I'm trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And so this is happening, and so I'm dating the one girl who I'm like completely turned off to by now, and then there's the other girl that is still interested in me, and we're talking on AIM, of course.
Yes.
I didn't have a texting phone until I was like a senior in high school or something like that. So it's still pretty new to me. Yeah. And so she's talking to me on AIM and stuff, and all of a sudden the conversation goes to, Joel, you're acting a little different now. And so she saw the signs, and I thought I was being sneaky. I wasn't. She saw the signs, and I didn't intend for this.
Yeah.
And I should have stopped it there. I should have called her, or I should have was like, wait, we should talk later.
Yeah.
But it went in the direction of, well, do you still want to date me then? And so it kind of happened over AIM, and I was totally embarrassed and ashamed that I broke up with this girl over AIM.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's my embarrassing story.
There's
I will admit, as the new man I am now, different than my high school man.
And repentant, dude.
Yeah. I will admit my mistake as allowing it to break up happen over AIM.
There's no you're welcome after that one, dude. You got it.
Can I tell? She put up her away message.
Wait, Josh's worst breakup ever. So we'll do Josh first, and then we'll open it again. So Josh, what was your worst breakup ever? Yeah.
Okay, well,
who breaks up with a Canadian? Like I don't get it.
Apparently, every girl I've ever dated, actually.
I'm sorry.
She said, "I'm sorry, not you're welcome." Did she say, "I'm sorry" or "You're welcome"?
Okay, I'm gonna say my story, and then I'm gonna give a piece of advice to all the ladies out there of how to break up with a guy. Okay, so I don't know. I was in a relationship with this girl. Started, I don't know. I think I was a sophomore. She was a junior.
Junior.
Yeah, it lasted. It lasted about 9 months, maybe.
That's a good time. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Well, okay, I can't say it lasted. It like the first 4 months were really weird. We didn't really know if we were dating or not. We just hung out, just us two, a lot of the time. But yeah, I know it was cool. And I'm not very much of a physical touch kind of guy, so there was like none of that for a long time.
Okay, he doesn't like physical touch, so you all know what to do
later. Hold on.
Ladies, take notes.
Just so you know, Joshua Hebert is single. He lives on Dryer 3. He has church and doctrines at 8 a.m. with Dr. Brown if you want to find him.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to find his number real quick.
So Josh, go ahead. Continue.
Okay, anyway, so I was with this girl for a long time, and this is actually the same girl that eventually we just kind of both sensed it wasn't going anywhere. It was just, I don't know, it wasn't good. There were other factors. I don't know. We were into a lot of different things, but we're still really good friends, but we knew we weren't really dating ever. It was hard to accept. Anyway, so that kind of finally led up to the breakup night, and so we both kind of knew it was coming. But she came up to me, she's like, "Hey, Josh, I gotta talk to you about something." I was like, "Oh, okay, here it is." Except the way she went about it was so mean. Girls, I find, have a terrible curse of trying to make it the guy's fault every time they'll try to break up with someone. I don't know. I always felt that, guys, when they break up with someone, will, I don't know, be like a 50-50. It was your fault, but it was also my fault, and I admit my defeat. It's not you,
it's me.
Yeah. Exactly. But guys will feel, or at least I did, will feel, really defeated a lot of the time when this happens, where girls will feel like they've lost something dear, which is a completely different feeling. So, girls, break up just, accepting the mutual defeat on either side. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, it sucks for both of us. It's not just you're sacrificing something. It also sucks to the guy. Yeah, that's just my advice, and from my experience, what happened.
Gently.
Yeah. Wow. And Joel.
So no,
I
think
from the heart.
From his heart.
Just real quick, if you're interested in Josh, 312-961-0452. 312-961-0452.
Yeah, call me on my super hot AT&T Go phone.
No, I think Josh brings up a good point. Yeah. Be careful. Pick your words very carefully.
Exactly.
Guys, especially guys, we can recover pretty well. Most of us.
I don't know.
Girls, we can damage them very easily.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to make sure we're picking our words very carefully and what we talked about earlier, sticking around so that everything is clear, that none of you go home until both of you completely understand.
Okay. And Josh is going now, so thank you very much, Josh Hebert.
Bye, Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah, farewell. Godspeed.
Yes. And if you want to date Josh, just let us know here at the letter M. So,
I'm getting ready to leave too, but one more thing.
Okay, one more thing before Dakota leaves.
So, piece of advice to a girl. If you're going to break up with a guy, biggest thing, be straightforward. Don't wait. Don't make a visible downhill slope where they say, "Are you going to break up with me?" And you say, "No," because then they see it coming, and it just makes it so much worse. Be straightforward. Tell them why. Don't be like, "Well, I just want to be friends," or "I need to get closer to God on my own right now."
Don't date Jesus. Okay, listen. So one story just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit about myself, if you don't mind. This is rejection on my end too.
Yeah.
I remember once I was in middle school, and you know how passing notes in middle school was the way to do. You know what I'm saying? The circle yes, circle no at the bottom.
I had a lot of girlfriends that way.
Yeah, you did. Okay,
just saying.
I was very unsuccessful. I was band geek, but not like a saxophone band geek. I was a clarinet band geek. Like it was bad news. Like I was really really nerdy. I had like the Nazi part cut on as my haircut.
Why do you do that?
No, like gelled down and everything. It looked bad. I looked straight out of the 40s. Anyway, so I remember there was this one time I was really desperate for a girlfriend. I really wanted this, and so I remember I wrote this note in pen. I wrote it in pen, and it had like this super generic, but kind of like as a middle schooler would think it like super sweet, like circle yes, circle no letter, like hey, you're pretty. Do you want to be my girlfriend? And then at the bottom it said circle yes, circle no. So I'm sitting behind these two girls in math class. I pass it to the one on the right. She circles no with a pencil. So I get it back. I erase the pencil and I pass it to the girl on the left. And she circled no too. Man. So, rejection hurts, but don't do that.
saying, hey, I think you're pretty, and junior high, that's like totally, well, why would
that's poetry,
you date
man.
Me,
That's
why
poetry.
Wouldn't you date me?
I'm complimenting you.
That's all it takes.
That really is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Joseph Wagner Davis would like to let you and Dakota know that he's willing to invest in your guys' soap opera.
Okay. well, good deal. We've got investors. That's what starts.
All right. So Cal Byers would like to know, what do you do if the other person argues that you shouldn't break up? So let's start with Josh first. What if the other person argues that you shouldn't break up?
Oh, I think you should. I'm gonna have to pass this one because I need more time to think about.
Okay,
this.
so takers, Joel.
Question one more time. What if we want to break up and they say break up?
Let's not break up. Yeah,
I think it's important to be sensitive to the other person. They're feeling obviously different things than you're feeling.
Yeah.
You're having your own emotions, and it could just be you having these emotions like, man, I see this as a big red flag. Let me just get out of here quick before the building catches on fire, which it may never catch on fire.
Yeah.
But as guys, sometimes we think it will automatically. So I think it's important to maybe like, hey, let's take like a week. 2-week break, maybe. Let's just figure this out.
Yeah.
I have emotions. You have emotions. Let's work through these. And I don't have emotions really, so I have to systematically process.
not even one.
I have like small emotions. I just don't work well through them. So for me, and Lexi can totally attest to this.
Yeah.
For me, I can't work through my emotions. I mean, I have a feeling, and I have to analyze, why do I have that feeling? What is that feeling? And I have to systematically work through that. And then I have to identify the other person's feelings. What are they feeling? Why are they feeling that? And what is causing that? And then systematically approach through that. And then after I've totally analyzed everything, I have to put it together.
That sounds exhausting.
Okay. it's just the way I work, and I've realized this, and I've become obsessed with those like 4-letter
INTJ
personality.
Personality types.
Yeah, I'm an INTJ like perfectly. Every single time I take an INTJ. Sometimes, I think I got it once, ISTJ.
Ooh.
But almost every time it's INTJ. So I have to systematically approach everything. I have to really understand why I'm having emotions. But, okay, sorry. Tangent.
He strategically approaches
I strategically approach the battlefield.
Yeah.
No, if they don't want to break up and you're wanting to, be respectful of their feelings.
Right.
Think, what could they possibly be thinking, or are they just scared to be single?
Right.
Ooh.
I think that this is one of those moments where if it's done, it's done. I think you should respect the crap out of their feelings.
That's true.
That's a great way to put that. I think you should respect the heck out of their feelings. I also think that if you're sure breakup is breakup, it's done. You know what I mean? You're not really respecting that person if you're putting half your heart into the relationship. And
that's true.
I honestly wonder at the argument point, if you've got to the point of breaking up, what are they going to feel like? Okay, say you stay together, like, I really want to break up. They argue into saying, like, okay, fine, we can stay together for a little bit longer. How are they going to feel when they wake up the next morning? You know what I mean? That's kind of like he or she wants to be done with me. But I managed to convince them to stay on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's a desperation, and that to me, man, if it's done, it's done. And that's the thing about breakups is they don't have to be completely agreed upon. You hope they do, but most of the time, I would say over 50% of the time, breakups are a one-sided thing. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, one person doesn't want to break up. You know what I mean? And it's not the time for them yet. But that's why the healing process is there. And I think that if you're really set in your heart, you need to get away from it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a relationship that's crappy. And when that right person comes along, you're going to, I don't know. I just feel like that's not a very good situation.
I agree with your ideas. I think it still is important to have that kind of break time, so that if they're feeling, oh shoot, I don't want to be single, and they're about to break up with me, it gives them kind of that week to process. Well, maybe he really should break up with me, or maybe that really is the best way to go about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
And Josh.
No, they pretty much have covered everything that I wanted to communicate.
Sorry,
but definitely, there is a, like, when you get to that point of breakup, it's like, it's not, you're thinking, oh, I get to spend time with this person. It's like, oh, now I have to, like, it changes from I get to an I have to, and then it's kind of just,
the other person should be your best friend.
That's true. It should be. I'd just like to greet Spencer Smith, listening from Honduras.
Spencer Smith!
So he's listening right now.
Love you, Spency.
Yeah. And I guess I just need like short answers for this since he's a missionary to Honduras. So how much do you have to like your girlfriend's dad?
So, the question one more time.
How much do you have to like your girlfriend's dad?
Oh, have to like.
I think the question is better. How much does your girlfriend's dad have to like you?
There you go.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Why don't we do Chang first?
Yeah,
Chang. He hasn't talking first yet. Go for it, dude.
Go ahead.
Oh. See, here's the thing. I haven't like progressed that far into a relationship, so I haven't actually processed those thoughts, and so I'm actually learning a lot from you guys as you guys are talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, those are actually really, really good thoughts. And so that's why I am passing along the mic to you guys.
All right, well then I'll take it.
It's a sign of respect.
You're a sweetheart, man. I think as far as Spencer goes, he's married, so he actually probably answered that question better than we could, as just engaged and stuff. But I think, honestly, you do sort of need to like your girlfriend's dad a little bit, at least respect him. I think it's important to at least show respect to him. Megan's dad is one of the most godly men I've ever met. He prayed over me the night that I asked to marry her, and it was one of the most moving experiences of my life. So I'm really lucky in the fact that he's a great guy, and I wish you were listening right now for me to give him a shout-out. But I think if the dad is not the best dad, support her first, always. Yeah. Always support her first. But always my mom has always given me this great advice. Never get into the middle of that fight if there is a hurt relationship. Yeah. It's not worth it. Your job is to support. Just like Megan would never go to my mom if me and my mom had a problem. I would never go to her dad if her and her dad had a problem because I think this is like a deeper issue in a relationship. Yeah. She's a big girl. She can deal with it. Yeah. With your support, of course, but she can deal with it. You don't have to always be there to fix the problem in that relationship because she's had, 18, 19, 20 years more experience with them.
That's true.
But as far as a dad goes, I think you should respect him. I think that's the best word is respect him and respect his wishes.
That is the least you can do.
Think if you have a daughter, how do you want the boy to potentially that's potentially marrying your daughter treat you as a father?
Right.
And I mean you'd like to think of yourself as I'm a great dad, right? But you might find a girl, and for the girls out there, you might find a guy who's got just terrible parents. In the end, it's coming down to how do you respect their parents, because the significant other that you're pursuing, they're watching that. They're watching how you respond to those parents, and if you're responding through respect, they're going to see, oh, he's even going to respect me in that too. Yeah. So
right.
Okay, so since we're running out of time, you only have like about 7 minutes. So moving on, what is like the big thing that you can advise our listeners on how to move on from a breakup, whether it's like an amicable breakup or like a really big breakup, like
Fallbacks.
Soap opera breakup? So
Fallbacks.
Friends. So Josh says friends. So friends.
Just kidding.
How do friends help you out with a breakup, apart from buying you ice cream and going to McDonald's till like midnight?
Because hopefully your friends are with you through different parts of your relationship. And they know the ups and downs, what you've been through, and so I feel like for to have friends is like they have like that third person perspective that like, and they understand you sometimes more than you understand yourself in that like low stage that you're at. That they know how to give you space. They know how to like come in and support you and encourage you. And so that's why I say friends.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've never been to the point where I've been broken up with and just totally distraught and torn apart. The closest feeling I could imagine that it's like is being fired, which I have been fired, and it was for a job that I was bad at. That's a different subject, but I was fired, and the only thing that I could think about, I didn't go to my friends because none of them have ever been fired or anything. But it was really like, okay, well, God, why did you take me out of that position? What do I do now? What was I really bad at, and what do I learn from that? And so in any of those moments where I just feel completely defeated, it's as cheesy as it sounds on Moody Radio. It's looking to God and seeing what is He trying to teach me through that.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Tim? I mean, you're never going to break up ever again. But
hopefully not. I think you got to give yourself time. It's not a bad thing to hurt. It never is. Or maybe it is sometimes, I guess. But I think Chang says what I would say is get out, go hang out. Don't section yourself into that hurt. Breakups suck. You know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. It hurts, and I mean, I've known there was one time where I did something so dumb that I honestly thought Megan was going to break up with me, and thank God she didn't. But I remember sitting in my bed that night, like I punched the wall. I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe that I'm about to lose this. But it's okay to feel hurt. You know, it's okay to go through that, but don't section yourself out. You know, I think there comes a point in time where you know yourself. You know if you're just feeling sad to feel sad, and get back out there. There's nothing wrong with getting back out there. I think that the rule of like you need to wait a little while after a relationship more applies to the person breaking up. If you've been dumped and you're over it and somebody else is there, I think a lot of people feel really bad about, hey, it's been 2 months, it's been 3 months, and I like this person. Get back out there and enjoy that again, because that's what dating is you fall down, but you got to get back up, you know. But I would say give yourself time to hurt, give yourself time to grieve just a little bit. That would be my thing, and hang out with friends. I think that's huge. And pray about it a lot.
Yeah, I have to add one more thing. I think the worst thing that you can do after breaking up, failing, whatever, is to not move forward. If you're just sitting there and just sulking, or you are just like so sad and you feel like honestly like paralyzed in life. Yeah. I think the worst thing that you can do is just sit there and do nothing. And that, like, when you sit there in your feelings and your emotions, like, you know, a lot of terrible decisions and bad things can happen. Honestly, at least from my personal experience.
Yeah, and I think this is where like breakups, we should take them as opportunities as well to realize what God is doing in our lives. Like, you have to go through all the wrong people just so you'd find the right one. And I think like breakups are also like very good opportunities for us to rediscover God, because a lot of us, like, when we get into these relationships, it's like, screw my friends, screw everything, screw God. It's like I found my soulmate, and then like when that person goes, it's like, oh my gosh, I built all my identity around her or him. And you're lost. Like, this is your time to like get closer to God. This is your time to approach Him in prayer and in humility, because like you have friends. God is going to be using your friends. God is going to be using your family. But ultimately, He wants you to be drawn to Him during this time that you're having this you're having a breakup. So and it happens. Like, a lot of people tend to say that like people just have to get over breakups. It's not that easy. You're right. You have to heal. Get over it now. Yeah, no, it's not that easy. Like, really go into my shoes. Let's see how we're going to fare out. It's like, you know, so it takes time. It's a process. So it's pretty much like our life with Jesus Christ. It's a process. We should weather the storms. And this an opportunity for us to, you know, to get closer to our friends. That's why you never drop your friends. It's, biggest pet peeve. It's like, you never drop your friends. Because you know what? Those are the people who were there for you. They're people who formed you. And if you're just going to like leave them by the wayside just because you got a girlfriend or a new boyfriend, it's like, you know what? Well, I mean, for me, if that happened to me, I'm like, you know what? I understand what a friendship really meant to you anyway. So good luck with your life. But, you know, it's like, if you break up, don't come knocking at my door. It's like, you know. So thank you very much, guys.
Can I give a shout out?
Break up now. Yes.
Can I give a shout out?
out?
Megan, I love you so much. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. You're freaking beautiful and amazing.
Do you guys have any final shout outs?
That's what I needed to say.
I feel like I'm obligated to say
no, don't be obligated, dude.
Well, the thing is, they can listen to this episode. Yeah, they can listen to this episode pretty much afterwards. We'll be posting it online.
Just let it be known that I said it first.
Yeah.
One up? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to mom and dad.
Yeah. For making us.
Yeah. And
for making us.
And for our brothers. For our brothers on Dryer 3.
Yeah, my boys.
Thank you. For our sisters on 7 North and on previous sister floors.
Some of them were listening.
So Pearl Wendell.
Thank you, Pearl.
Josh Ebert.
Thank you, Pearl.
Garrett Byers. Dakota Messenger.
Spency.
Joseph Wagner Davis. Spencer Smith in Honduras right now.
Wow. So,
thank you.
Yes, and for all of you whom we haven't mentioned, but no, it's like we haven't forgotten you. So thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you guys so much.
So next week, we are doing Fashion Night.
Yes.
With Jamal Hedgewood and Rob Lalauren. So for the first time, Rob is going to be guesting at the letter M. Rob is one of my really good friends. So this is the first time he's guesting because he usually works on Monday nights. But now he doesn't work anymore, so that's nice. So Jamal and Rob, and I hope he's going to take his girlfriend Bethany here at the studio because like we need a girl. I mean, if we're going to do Fashion Night, we need a girl. Yeah.
But
so
with Jamal and Rob, you got the bases covered pretty well.
Is this specifically guys' fashion or
not sure? You need Joel.
It's like Moody's fashion. So basically, Fashion Night is going to be about how are you going to be able to dress up on a budget.
Oh, I got that covered, man.
Dude, Urban Outfitters, the little
Urban Outfitters surplus
outlet, baby.
Yeah. So Jamal Hedgewood and Rob Lalauren are coming next week, and hopefully, I'm going to ask Rob if he could bring Bethany here because like Bethany also has a good sense of style. So that's one thing I like about her. So thank you very much. Up next, coming up is Recon with Andy and Chris. I hope I got their names right. It's Andy Decker and Chris. I forgot Chris's last name. But and I guess Nathan is also coming. So it's the three of them. So thank you very much for joining us here for Breakup Night. So next week it's Fashion Night, and we'd like to thank our guests and the people who listen to us. Thank you very much. We love you. Andrew loves you. Andrew is coming back in 2 months.
Andrew!
Yes. So thank you.
Shout out to my future girlfriend.
Amen.
Shout out to my future girlfriend, whoever she is. So we are going to end with
Spotify, something.
Actually, I'm going to end with a really happy song. So it's Rather Be by Clean Bandit, only here on Moody Campus Radio.
Bye.